You know that common advice you hear that as kids hit their teens, parents should kind of step back from school life and let them be independent? But what if that's not just a little off, but the complete opposite of what the research tells us? Let's dive into the really surprising and honestly powerful connection between parents and a teen's drive to succeed. We all think of high school as this great equalizer, right? It's supposed to be a place where every single student gets a fair shot to thrive. But what actually happens in the classroom, that's really only half the story. The connection to home is this incredibly powerful factor that we often overlook.
So this brings us to the big question every parent of a teenager asks themselves. Do you step back or do you lean in? Is getting involved a helping hand, or is it just smothering? It feels like this impossibly delicate balance. But it turns out the research points to some really clear answers. So where does this all begin? Well, it turns out the foundation for a motivated student isn't actually built in a classroom at all. Nope, it's built at home.
And here's the key thing to remember. This isn't about doing their homework for them, not at all. It's about creating the right environment, a quiet space to study, a predictable routine, and just an atmosphere where putting in academic effort is seen as a good thing. That structure alone gives teens the stability they need to actually focus.
And listen, this isn't just a gut feeling. We have decades of research, all pointing to the same conclusion. Simply having high, but, realistic, academic expectations is one of the biggest drivers of success. It sends this clear message: I believe you can do this, which in turn helps them believe it too.
Okay, so this gets right to the heart of that big worry, right? The fear of being overbearing. Well, there is a huge difference between control and guidance. Control says, you must do this my way. Guidance says, hey, I'm here to help you figure this out. And the amazing thing is, that kind of supportive guidance doesn't smother their independence. It actually builds the confidence they need for it.
All right, so once you've got that foundation set at home, what's next? Well, now it's time to build a bridge that connects right to the school. This is where that partnership becomes absolutely essential. Think about it. When parents and teachers are actually talking on a regular basis, they become this unified team that's all on the student's side. The student knows everyone is on the same page, which just naturally makes them more accountable. And maybe most importantly, if any challenges pop up, they can be spotted and dealt with long before they turn into major problems. And again, this is not just some nice-sounding theory. We have massive international data sets that back this up. The PISA survey, it tests students from all over the world, shows a clear positive link between parents being involved at school and how well students do. The numbers just don't lie.
But let's be real for a second. Life gets in the way, right? Parents are working multiple jobs, maybe they don't speak the same language as the teachers, or honestly, they might just feel intimidated by the whole school system. These barriers are very real, but they are not impossible to overcome. This is really a two-way street. The responsibility is shared, and schools can take some really concrete steps to build that bridge. Simple things like offering meetings outside the typical 9-to-5 workday, using apps that can translate messages, and just creating a genuinely welcoming culture. Well, that can make all the difference for families.
So, this brings us to our third piece of the puzzle. And let's be honest, maybe the trickiest one, especially with teenagers. The simple power of being there, of presence.
Whether it's showing up for a parent-teacher night, cheering at a sports game, or sitting in the audience for a school play, a parent's physical presence sends this quiet but really profound message: what you do here matters to us. This reinforces the value of school and, crucially, makes students feel more connected, like they really belong in their school community. And you guessed it, this isn't just about good vibes. The research is crystal clear on this. A huge study that combined the results of many other studies found that when students see their parents participating, it directly improves their own attitude toward learning and strengthens their commitment to school.
Okay, let's tackle the elephant in the room. But my teenager would be absolutely mortified. And yeah, they probably don't want you volunteering in their chemistry class anymore. But presence isn't about hovering. It's about being a visible, supportive part of the wider school community. That powerful signal that you care can exist right alongside their growing need for independence. So we've looked at what happens at home, the importance of the school partnership, and the power of just being there. So what does this all boil down to? What's the secret sauce here? When you put it all together, it really comes down to three connected ideas. The support at home, that creates the habits. The communication with school, that creates the accountability. And being present, that creates a sense of belonging. You can really see how each one of these pillars supports the others to build a truly motivated student.
So, if there's one crucial takeaway, it's this. The type of involvement matters so much more than anything else. It's not about how much you're involved, but how you're involved. The goal is to be supportive of a teen's growing autonomy, not to control it. You want to be a partner, not a dictator.
And that leaves us with one final thought to take with you. Whether you're a parent, a teacher, or just someone who cares about a teenager in your life, just think about it. What is one small, supportive thing you could do this week to help strengthen that vital connection between a student's home and their school?